Hey everyone, ready for something kind of different? Today we're going to do a deep dive into trusting in God's plan.
Okay.
But get this, our source material isn't a book or a sermon,
Mm.
it's a video script.
Oh, wow.
It's really fascinating how it tries to make this complex theological concept, accessible
Yeah.
using visuals and narration and like a really smart selection of Bible verses and Psalms.
I know. It really caught my eye, too. You don't often see that kind of visual storytelling approach with, topics of faith. The
Exactly.
script seems to really understand the power of imagery
Mhm.
and metaphors,
Right.
especially when you're trying to connect with an audience on like a deeper level.
Totally. It's not just about stating the idea, it's about like creating an experience.
Right.
It's like right from the start, they use this imagery of a peaceful sunrise
Oh, yeah.
as the narrator is kind of welcoming you into this moment of reflection.
Yeah.
I can almost feel myself getting pulled into that calm atmosphere just thinking about it.
And that atmosphere sets the stage perfectly for that message of trust. They're building, right? Like they immediately introduced Jeremiah 29.11.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That well-known verse, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." It just establishes this idea of a bigger picture right away,
Yeah.
even before they get into like the nitty-gritty of trust.
Yeah, it's like they're grounding the whole thing in this sense of optimism before they even acknowledge the potential struggles.
Exactly.
Which honestly is kind of reassuring. Like
Yeah.
they're acknowledging that even when things are tough, there's this underlying foundation of goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever noticed how that impacts you when you're, going through something difficult?
I think it's a really powerful reminder,
Yeah,
especially when we're tempted to get caught up in like the immediate challenges we're facing.
totally.
That's actually where the first segment, the foundation of trust, gets really interesting.
Okay.
They use this visual of a strong foundation
Oh, yeah.
being built brick by brick.
I love that.
What do you think about that metaphor and how it relates to building trust, especially like in a spiritual sense?
I think it's brilliant, honestly. It's like they're visually demonstrating that trust isn't some like magical thing that happens overnight.
Right.
It takes effort, intentionality. It's something you cultivate through actions and choices.
Right.
It's like a physical foundation. It requires the right materials, the right kind of support
For sure.
to be strong and lasting.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of all the times I've tried to force things, like to rush trust
Mm.
without really putting in the work.
Yeah.
It never quite works out that way, does it?
It really doesn't.
No?
It's like trying to build a house on sand, you know? And the script reinforces that idea by bringing in Proverbs 3.56.
Uh-huh.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight.
It's a classic.
A classic verse, yeah.
I'm curious, what stands out to you about that idea of surrendering control? Is it something you've, struggled with?
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
I mean,
Letting go of that need to control everything.
oh, my gosh, yeah.
It's so challenging. Our brains are practically wired for it.
They are.
But this verse and like that whole visual of the foundation,
Yeah,
it suggests something different.
totally.
It's like it's saying, hey, it's okay to not have all the answers. In
Yeah.
fact, it's better that way. Lean into the unknown, lean into that higher power. But that doesn't mean being passive, right? It's more about actively choosing where to place your trust, wouldn't you say?
I completely agree.
Yeah,
It's about recognizing that there's a wisdom beyond our own, a plan that's bigger than what we can currently see.
totally.
And that brings us to another powerful image they use.
Okay,
The shepherd from Psalm 23,
okay.
leading his flock to green pastures and still waters.
Yeah.
The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul.
It's beautiful imagery, isn't it?
It is.
How do you see that connecting to the idea of building a foundation of trust?
It's like they're saying, okay, you've put in the work.
Right.
You've built your foundation. Now allow yourself to be guided, to be led to those places of peace and nourishment.
Yeah,
It's such a comforting image,
it is.
especially when you're feeling lost or overwhelmed.
Mhm.
And it speaks to that duality of trust, right?
Yeah.
You have to build your own foundation.
Right,
But you also have to recognize that you're not alone in the journey.
for sure.
There's this guiding force, this shepherd,
Yeah.
helping you along the way.
And that sense of guidance is crucial
Huh.
because, as the script highlights, doubt is inevitable.
Yeah.
We all experience moments of questioning,
Mhm.
uncertainty,
Cold.
even when our faith is strong.
It happens.
That's why I think the next segment, Overcoming Doubt, is so relatable. Okay.
They show a person standing at the edge of a cliff,
Oh, wow.
hesitant, uncertain.
Yeah.
It's a feeling I think we can all connect with on some level.
Absolutely.
Right.
That image immediately brings to mind those moments in life where you're standing at a crossroads, feeling paralyzed by fear and indecision.
Totally.
And just when that sense of doubt starts creeping in,
Yeah.
they hit you with 2 Corinthians 5:7.
Oh, I love that one.
For we walk by faith, not by sight.
Yes.
It's like a lifeline in the midst of all that uncertainty.
It is. It is. It's a powerful reminder that we don't need to have everything figured out
No.
to move forward. Like,
Right.
sometimes taking that leap of faith, even when we're scared or unsure,
Yeah.
is the most courageous thing we can do.
I agree.
But the script doesn't just tell us to have faith.
Right.
It acknowledges the fear, those very real emotions that can make trusting so difficult.
Oh, for sure. Like, it's one thing to say, just trust God, but it's quite another to actually do it when you're facing real life challenges and anxieties.
Yeah.
That's where Psalm 56.3-4 comes in, right?
Yes.
That idea of, finding refuge and strength in God when you're afraid.
When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust and am not afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?
It's a verse that speaks directly to the heart of our human experience, We all experience fear,
Yeah.
but the psalm suggests that the more we choose to trust,
Yeah.
the more we express our faith, the less power fear has over us.
Absolutely.
It's like a muscle we can strengthen through practice,
It is.
you know?
It is.
It's like they're saying, hey, it's okay to be afraid,
Mm-hmm.
but don't let fear be the driving force.
Right.
Choose trust instead.
Choose trust.
And that leads us perfectly into the third segment,
Okay.
trusting God in hard times, which is where things get really real.
This is where the strip dives into the reality that life isn't always easy.
Right.
There will be storms, moments of hardship,
For sure.
loss.
Yeah.
And in those moments, it can be incredibly difficult to hold on to trust, to
Mhm.
believe that there's like a greater good at play.
Yeah, they don't sugarcoat it at all.
It don't.
They show a person walking through like a literal storm,
Oh, wow.
and it's visually jarring, almost unsettling.
Yeah.
Like you can feel the weight of that experience, the
Yeah.
rawness of it.
Yeah.
But even in that darkness,
Huh.
they offer a beacon of hope with Hebrews 13.5.
Oh, yeah.
Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you.
Talk about powerful words.
Words.
To cling to when everything feels like it's falling apart. How does that verse make you feel?
It's a promise that resonates deeply.
Yeah.
Especially when we feel alone,
Yeah.
abandoned.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of storms, there's a presence, a love
Yeah.
that's constant, unwavering.
Yeah.
And that presence is there to offer support, guidance,
Yeah.
and ultimately a way through the storm. It's like knowing that even though you're walking through fire, you're not being burned.
Right.
And that's where Psalm 34.18 comes in,
Yeah.
speaking directly to those who are brokenhearted.
Right.
The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit.
Yeah, they're acknowledging that sometimes life just hurts.
It really does.
But even in that pain,
Yeah.
God is present,
Yeah.
offering comfort and healing.
It's a beautiful reminder that our pain doesn't go unnoticed,
Does it?
that there's a compassion that sees us in our most vulnerable moments.
It sees us.
It's a powerful message to receive when you're feeling lost and broken.
Absolutely.
It's like they're saying, hey, we see you, we
Yeah.
see your pain, and we're here for you.
And we're here for you.
And that's what I find so compelling about this script. It doesn't shy away from the tough stuff.
It doesn't.
It acknowledges the messiness of life, the very real struggles people face.
It does.
Yeah.
And that honesty is refreshing, isn't it?
It is.
It's what makes this whole exploration of trust so relatable.
Yeah.
Because it's not about pretending that everything is sunshine and roses.
Right.
It's about acknowledging the storms, the darkness,
Yeah.
and choosing to trust even when it feels impossible.
It's powerful stuff.
And that's what makes the transition to the next segment so powerful,
Okay.
the reward of trust. After acknowledging the struggles, they shift the focus to hope and resilience.
Okay.
And they use this like stunning visual of a sunrise over a mountaintop.
Oh, wow.
What do you think about that shift in tone and imagery, especially after such a heavy segment?
It's like a breath of fresh air.
It is.
It's almost as if they're visually demonstrating that feeling of overcoming, of reaching a new height after a challenging climb.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about how those moments of difficulty, the storms we just talked about,
Mm.
they